Taking you down! I'm gonna kill you all! You gotta cover me!
I'm glad you've got my gear 6.
Hello and welcome to another Division video. In this build video I will fulfill another request I got, and the request was, or the question was, let's say this way, what stats I would roll on a D3 set. And yeah, this was the set I was grinding the most for it, for the last final piece, the chess piece. So I got finally one and I could do some test runs with it, and yeah, it worked pretty well in my opinion. So it's not perfect at the moment, but of course I will fulfill and answer the question and show you what stats I'm running and why I do this. So let's get right into the build, and as usual I do really appreciate if you find this video useful and enjoy the gameplay at the end. If you would give this video a like, a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, it helps me a lot and it's really appreciated. Thanks a lot. And yeah, let's get right into build. As you see, it's a classical D3 set, classified version of course, with 9k stamina. Yeah, I was a little bit curious about the shield health, but I'm impressed positively. The health is really amazing, I have to say. But yeah, let's get right into the build. So the chess piece, the missing piece I was looking for so a long time. You see here, it's rolled everything into stamina, not maxed out yet. I still have to grind for some more division tech to really max out every stat. Yeah, I think I got the worst attributes you could ever had on this one as I got it, but at least with stamina I got resist all, exotic damage resilience and increased kill XP. Yeah, and of course everything I wanted on this chess piece. No, just kidding. So as you see here, I have major attributes: kill haste, exotic damage resilience and ammo capacity. Yeah, EDR is finally not that bad. I mean, you have a little bit, you're a little bit safer against grenades and bleed effect and everything like this, so EDR is definitely not the worst one. But for a bit more damage, I think if I could choose, I would run, instead of EDR, I would run damage, tell me? What the hell? I missed now the right word. Let's quickly check on this one. Of course, enemy armor damage. That's it. Yeah, of course, enemy armor damage and skill haste would be my preferred choice for the major. Minor, of course, ammo is the way to go, especially on a D3, because you just mainly use your SMG and pretty often. So enemy ammo capacity almost a must in my opinion. Let's quickly go over the stats from the D3. So first you get protection from elites, the 2-piece bonus, 3 pieces ballistic shield, damage resilience. This works pretty well, I have to say. It's really awesome how this works in my opinion. Then 4-piece bonus, yeah, I think it's nothing new. So you have, no, something is new in 1.8 of course, but you can use an SMG with the shield. This is the old version, and the new one, only master rank shield mod is active. That's old one, but ballistic shield health is increased by 57% for every 3000 stamina. So I did a build video before the global event started, and with just 6000 stamina, and it worked pretty well, too. So if you don't have every gear piece, just check this video out. I think it still works pretty well, but of course if you have 6 piece, then go for this version. It's really nice to run. Then the 5-piece bonus, 15% add-on protection from elites, which means you have 30% now and 5% ballistic shield damage resilience results in 15%, so that's pretty nice. Earlier you could have the stats or the mods, performance mods with ballistic shield damage resilience 4 times 4%, so you now got almost these 4 mods for free with this set, and that works pretty well, as I said. So the 6-piece bonus, that's really strange and a bit complicated sometimes. When ballistic shield is deployed, melee damage is increased by 2000%, and all overhealing the player receives is applied to the ballistic shield as healing. After reaching the damage threshold from receiving physical or exotic damage, the ballistic shield grants a buff to the player and all group members within 50 meters for 6 seconds. The duration of the buff is increased by 2 seconds for every 3000 stamina the player has, which means when you have 9000 you got 6 more 12 seconds. It's pretty a long time. And physical damage armor is increased by 30%, and exotic damage weapon damage is increased by 30% as well. And when at 9000 stamina, ballistic shield health is increased by 200%. So really complicated. The melee damage you will see at the beginning of this video, and of course for the group it's a pretty nice buff as well, pretty much similar to final measure. But I think the most important one is the one at 9k stamina with the increased shield health 200%. That's where this build shines in my opinion. So as you see, the mods I'm using on this build is 3% damage to elites and firearms. Yeah, I mean this shield has a huge advantage, and the advantage is the survivability, and with 9k stamina I think, yeah, it's not discussable. But the same thing as the Predmark, the damage is a little bit low on the lower end side, because firearms are just about 4k. So my main reason was to increase the damage, and I mainly play PVE, so you met a lot of elites, and that's why I was using here, or I'm using here, damage to elite mods. Let's go to the next part, the mask. Mask, again, it's on stamina, major skill power and damage to elites. Nothing special here. A little bit increase of skill power is pretty nice to have, because you will see, I can show you this at the end, the shield health increase furthermore if you have more skill power. That's why I went here for skill power, not for enemy armor damage. And the mod again, not again, skill haste and firearms. The reason why I don't run damage to elites all over the board, because they have lower stats on firearms, and as you see, when I go out to my weapons, then some important talents are not unlocked. That's the reason why I changed, or I choose two mods with 3% skill haste and firearms to unlock the weapon talents. That's the main reason. Then the knees, as you see here, it's stamina as well, crit hit damage on this one here, damage to elites, these are the most important things in my opinion, and crit hit damage, because to increase the damage a little bit more with your build. And yeah, you use an SMG with high crit chance, that's why this makes sense in my opinion. Another thing you could run as well here, and I'm not sure which is better for the moment, I think it depends on the mission as well, but you can run here skill haste, not skill haste, skill power as well. Then you have more shield health, furthermore shield health. So, and the mods I'm using here, prototype performance mod, as you see, ballistic shield damage. Yes, as I said at the beginning, this build shines with survivability as well, but lacks a little bit with damage. That's why I run here ballistic shield damage, to increase the damage of my SMG a little bit. Then the holster I'm using, as you see, it's nothing special. High stamina, crit hit chance on this one as well, so I'm not focusing high skill haste. And yeah, of course you could run here if you have good mods, again with skill, probably with crit hit chance or skill power, it doesn't matter, but I would choose between the three, so skill haste, skill power or crit chance. And then the gloves I'm using here, as you see, pretty god roll, I would say, stamina, crit chance, SMG damage and crit damage to increase the damage furthermore, And the last missing piece of gear here is the backpack. Again, of course, stamina, crit hit damage and ammo capacity. Really nice roll as well, in my opinion. And yeah, as I said at the beginning, I tried out to max out the damage, and that's why I tried to roll everywhere crit damage as possible on my gear. And of course, same mods here as I mentioned before. But to go to the 9k, I had to use one mod with a stamina. That's it for the gear. Let's go ahead to the main weapon here. The main weapon of choice, or the weapon of choice I'm using here, is the house. Not maxed out at the moment, but I'll do this soon, of course. And you see the talents Deadly, Predatory and Card Counter. Yeah, Predatory is, in my opinion, for PvE one of the best weapon talents in this patch 1.8, because you usually on most builds you don't have that high skill power, so the heal is pretty low. And yeah, first aid self heal is crap in my opinion, because the scaling increased, you have much more health, but the health you get from first aid is still the same. So if I heal, then I would choose a box, or as on this build here, Predatory. And especially in Underground with the modification or the things you can add on the Underground, then you have so long delays on the healing resources or the healing skills. That's incredible. And that's why Predatory works pretty well. And you see 35% of your health, and you got a lot of health. Let's have a look here on the stats first. You do have about 380 health, and a third of this one is about 120, no, are you kidding me? 120, 240, yeah, about 120, 130 k you get health from Predatory, so this works pretty well. If you're already here, to quickly go over the stats, as you see, skill haste is not that bad, it's pretty high, 30% in my opinion. Skill power is not that high, but it's enough for me. And damage to elites, it's really nice to have, of course. Enemy armor damage, if you have, you can run it on your SMG as well for PvE, works pretty nice too. And as you see here, pretty high crit hit damage, and crit hit chance is not that bad. If I run it with a pulse, then it's almost at 45%, I would say. Depends on the pulse, of course, a little bit too. But the damage in this way, it's not that bad. So let's go back to the weapon. I think I don't can say anything more about this. The mods are pretty usual, I think. As you know, crit hit damage and crit hit chance all over the board, it's possible. And the secondary of choice for me, it's the Big Alley. I just love this gun at the moment, and pretty nice for PvE with this talents as well, destructive and predatory. But of course you can use whatever you like, and you don't have to use these exotics if you don't have them. It doesn't matter that much. Maybe MP5 works as well, MG5 works, or LVOAC or M4 variant. Doesn't matter that much. Feel what you're comfortable with. Yeah, I love this gun, that's the main reason, and you can suppress the guys pretty well, the NPCs, and it works pretty well if you're in cover, because if your shield blows up, usually you're in cover, and then you can benefit from the third talent of the Big Alley. So let's go ahead to the abilities. Abilities on this one, of course, the shield, it doesn't matter which one, because you always get the basic shield. And as you see at the moment, 1.68 million shield health. It's pretty high in my opinion, and enough for most of the content. Although you play solo, you will see it at the gameplay in the end. I choose to do an underground mission daily challenge difficulty, and it worked pretty well. So one thing I mentioned you, I will show you this quickly. If I swap out one mod, not this one, let's change this here. And where do I have one with? Here it is. With skill power, then I reach 100k, and then quickly go back to the shield. As you see, almost 1.99 million shield health. So just about 10,000 more, and you can increase the shield health a lot. So that's why you could definitely choose instead crit hit damage on the knees. You could choose skill power, and you have a much stronger shield. That would work pretty nice too, in my opinion. But it depends what kind of build you will use or you will run. And you do have, in my opinion, two options. If you run it solo, then you need to do a little bit damage, and this is my preferred choice of going with this D3 set. And otherwise, if you will play more support role, then as I said, I would go more into electronics and skill power to have a stronger shield, and then probably run it even with a Midas. Yeah, probably you know the talent of the Midas. I don't have anything one at me. I have it in my stash. I don't use it that often, or used it that often. That's why I don't have it with me. But the third talent of the Midas is that you can decrease your own damage, but because your own damage is anyway crap, it doesn't matter that much, and you decrease the damage of your opponents up to 20% if I'm right. So you can help your group and decrease the damage of the most dangerous NPCs, or the guys that hit the hardest, and your teammates have time to kill them. So these are the two setups you can run this build, in my opinion. Of course, if you would like to see this other build in detail, I can change the stats and I can show you the build in detail, but just let me a comment down in the comment section, otherwise I will not do this video. So that's it for the weapon. Let's go back to the abilities. I spoke already about the shield. I run this with a pulse down here in underground, because with the modifier, as you see here, not yet, but you have so long cooldowns, but I think because I finished the mission already, you have so long cooldowns, you have to wait almost 4 minutes until you get the heal back, so that doesn't make sense. That's why I run here the recon pack with the shortest cooldown to increase the skill at the crit chance and crit damage furthermore. If I run this in a mission, then when I would choose this one here, booster, I know it's useless because of the heal, almost useless, but to increase the damage furthermore with my weapon and the lower cooldown. If I run it with a group, I would choose this one here, immunizer, to give my bodies a little bit heal as well, and yeah, to be immune against shock and burn and everything like this. So these are the options I would run on this build. The talents I was using here, as you see, nothing special. It's crit save, it's strike back, and the must-have for shield build, in my opinion, still, although the shield is pretty strong. Combat medic, of course, if you run in a group anyway, but you can heal your shield too with a med kit. So if your shield almost broke, then just pop a med kit and you can increase the shield health as well. And the third one, as I said before, to increase the damage furthermore, and if my pulse is on cooldown, then I run this one here. And as I said, in the open world I just run the health, and I don't have a pulse. That's why I use this one, and you get 12.5% crit chance and 25% crit damage, which is really a lot. Yeah, this is my option for talents on this build here. And that's it for the build, I guess. Yeah, then I thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, it was useful for you. Don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't done it already, and enjoy the gameplay at the end. Thanks, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Thanks to that intel you brought in, we pinpointed a couple of LMB types who all want to be the next Colonel Bliss. The sooner you take them out, the less trouble they'll cause.
Alert. Hostiles detected. detected.
Should take second.
That's the coming.
Just get in the herd. Eastern! Somebody do something!
Hey, this is supposed to be.
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Get that AO under control.
Target is in the open.
Warning. Additional hostiles incoming.
kill the snake, you go after the head. Good work there.